This is a code enforcement hearing for the City of North Miami. Today is June 5th, 2019, and I am Beatrice Cazzo, Special Magistrate for the City of North Miami. The purpose of this hearing is to determine if a code violation exists at your property as observed and cited by a code enforcement officer of the city. If the city is not able to prove its case, then I will dismiss the case and you may leave. These proceedings are being recorded, therefore all persons who are speaking should do so one at a time to ensure that all testimony is clearly audible on the recording device. If English is not your primary language, then please inform me when I call your case. Where are our translators? Okay. Spanish? Not here yet. At least we have our Creole translator here present if you need assistance. When your case is called, the property owner, agent for the property owner, and any witness that you may have should come forward to the podium on the left side of the room. When asked, please speak directly into the microphone and say aloud your name, your business or mailing address, and your relationship to the property. If you are not the property owner or an attorney representing the property owner, then you must present a notarized power of attorney affidavit in order for your testimony to be taken on behalf of the property owner. For new cases, you will be asked for the record if you are aware of and understand the violation that is being heard today. And do you understand what is required to resolve the violation? Please answer accordingly. The city will present its case first, and the property owner violator will be given an opportunity to testify on their own behalf, to bring forward witnesses to testify, to present evidence and photographs, and to cross-examine the city's witnesses. Following the case presentation, I will issue a finding of fact on the case. If I find that a violation of city codes exists or existed at your property, then depending on the case type, I will set an abatement date for the violation to be resolved. Or, for repeat violations, I will impose a daily fine amount. For new, non-repeat cases, my order will include an abatement date by which you must resolve the violation and a daily fine amount that I may impose at a future hearing date should the violation not be resolved by the abatement date. If I find sufficient cause to postpone enforcement action at this time, I will table this case proceeding to another hearing date in the future. If you do not agree with my finding of fact and or ruling, then the property owner may appeal the administrative order on the case to the circuit court. An appeal must be filed within 30 days of the date of the execution of the administrative order to be appealed. In accordance with Florida statutes, if a person decides to appeal any decision made by the special magistrate with respect to any matter considered at these proceedings, then the person will need a verbatim record of the proceeding. This record includes the testimony and evidence upon which the appeal is to be based. The cost of obtaining the verbatim record shall be the sole responsibility of the appellant, and it is recommended that persons who plan to appeal persons who plan to appeal their case should provide their own court reporter at this proceedings. Pursuant to city codes, if the City of North Miami prevails in prosecuting a case before the special magistrate, the city shall be entitled to recover all costs incurred in prosecuting the case. The current cost assessment amount is $100 per case. Once the city records an order that imposes a fine and authorizes a lien against the property, then the city will charge additional administrative fees to record and release the lien. If you are present and will be given testimony on the case, please rise and raise your right hand so the officer can administer the oath.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give in these proceedings?
Yeah, I do.
Please stand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in these proceedings will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Say, I do.
I do.
May be seated.
Do the translators now too.
Translator, Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the translations which you are about to give in these proceedings will be accurate and correct to the best of your knowledge and skills and ability? Say, I do.
Please announce for the record if there are any additions, corrections, and/or, oh, the pledge. Let's do the pledge. I'm sorry.
Please stand with your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now you can announce any additions, deletions, and/or corrections to the hearing agenda, please.
Item number 7, SDNOV 2019-00091 complied. Item number 9, CEEXP 2019-00079 postponed 1 month.
Officer Olshan.
Item 15,
handle that
CEODS
thing, please.
2019-00033 complied. Item 16, CEPFY 2019-00089 complied. Item 23, CEEXP 2019-00075 complied. Item 25, CEPFY 2019-00093. Ownership has changed. Item 26, CEIVY 2019-00058 has complied. Item 30, CEPFY 2019-00094 complied. Item 31, CEPFY 2019-00095 has complied. Item 37, CEGMP 2019-00048 complied. Item 39, CESPW 2019-00001 was postponed 1 month, and those are all the amendments to the agenda.
All right, if you're ready, please call your first case.
The first case is item 32. Manila Pauliska. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer. The case number CEODS 2019-00045. Item 32.
Good afternoon. Please state your full name and relationship to the property.
No.
Does she need a translator? You need a
No,
translator?
my daughter.
Does she need an official translator?
Yes. Okay. Creole?
Creole.
Okay. If you're going to be helping your mom, you can stand by her. Please state your name for the record. She has to speak into the mic, and we have to hear your.
Manila Boliska.
Okay. Put the mic where she can both speak, and both of you can speak at the same time. We need to be able to record all the conversations. Okay. Go ahead.
Good evening, Co-Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. The property 820 Northeast 144 was cited for outdoor storage. In the carport area, there's a bunch of miscellaneous items being stored. And upon the final reinspection date, the items were still there. I drove by this afternoon, the items were still there.
All right.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Did you translate for her? No, sir. We have to do it into the microphone. It has to be recorded. If you need her to repeat, then she'll repeat it. Can you hear? Can you hear him? Louder? Okay. The IT wants you to be
No,
louder.
No, I removed them.
Okay. And when were they removed?
Maybe my pass here.
Since last month.
You did your reinspection when?
Today, after this morning's hearing, I just happened to drive by just to see if maybe they complied. And there's still items being stored in the carport.
Okay. I forgot to inquire. Can you pass them the photograph so that they can see it? And when? Go ahead.
That's not this morning. Those are my child's. I removed them.
Everyone has to speak into the mic.
With the carport, especially now that we've entered hurricane season, it's supposed to be clear of loose items. That's the reason why they're cited.
Okay.
So it's like children's toys, there's a couch and other miscellaneous stuff. It's a whole
Okay.
bunch of stuff. It was
Alright.
more stuff. They removed some, but there's still stuff in the carport.
Okay, pass it forward, please. Pass me the photographs.
I have a more recent photo for you to take a look at.
No problem. And this is not a garage. This is just a carport. Okay. All right. I believe the daughter wants to show me some photographs. Did you show it to the officer? All right. The photographs that you passed forward is still showing that there are a lot of items still being stored. I want to make sure that you understand what the violation is. Do you understand what the violation?
So it's supposed to be completely bare, nothing there at all whatsoever.
Correct. There shouldn't be anything stored in that area at all.
C'est jo papier l'école li fait.
Those are her school papers. She's in
Is
school.
oui, c'est ça quand bagay la gonye là, oui.
Yes, those are the items that are under the garage at the moment.
From what I can see, I see more than just papers.
Those
Um,
bins in the corner, cause school year just ended, those are my, like, items or whatever, from my classroom. That couch is going, as you can see, it's wrapped up to be shipped, and that's what that is.
All right, there are other items. There seems to be a desk and a chair. Is there a desk and a chair?
On ti table avant ou chaise.
A little table and a chair.
And a shelf? I guess everything has to be cleared out except for the bikes, if the kids are using the bicycle. I'm assuming it's not stored.
Even the chair?
On plastique chair.
I'm assuming you have to go back to the microphone so you can answer. I don't wanna.
I don't speak English, just anyway. Take a seat, but I
Your case is not being heard right now, ma'am. Please take a seat.
don't asking something I don't.
Maybe we should have her wait outside because she's being disruptive. Let her wait outside, and when her case is called, you can bring her in. She keeps speaking out of turn. Let her wait outside. Yes.
The chair that you see, is it like a lawn chair, like chair that you would sit on your porch? What type of chair?
Okay, let me pass it forward. Well, it's the same one that's in
Okay.
your photograph. So let me pass the photograph forward, and you can pass her the phone back.
The couch would have to go, but the lawn chairs, which is what they're called, they could have that when
Okay.
you sit in front of the house.
Okay, so
Yeah.
for right now, what in her photograph? Did you see her photo?
Yeah, I saw the photo on the phone.
Okay, so
All
tell.
the loose items can be taken in, because like the lawn chair, if in case of a storm, could easily be brought in.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, remove everything,
The loose items, yes.
the loose items. All right, ma'am. Based on the unrebutted testimony and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I find in favor of the city enter an adjudication. Ma'am, you have until June 26th to remove all the loose items from the court.
To remove everything.
I'm sorry? July 10th? All right, let me cross that out.
E ba l'école li ya.
Even her school stuff.
All right, let me rephrase that. You have until July 10th to remove everything from that area.
Okay.
If the officer drives by for reinspection and the items are still being stored there, there will be a daily fine amount. When you come back here on July 17th for your hearing, there will be a daily fine amount of $150.
I will not
Okay.
be coming back.
Pas tourner.
All right,
I
good.
won't be coming back.
All right, and that includes costs for today.
Yes, I include.
Okay?
Ok, merci.
Pilar,
Okay, thank you.
we assess costs for today? Okay. All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
Ok,
All right, bye.
merci beaucoup.
Pas de quoi.
The next item is item 14 for Christopher Sander. Vanessa Willis is the officer. The case number CESTA 2018-00010, item 14.
Repeat that for me one more time.
Item 14,
14.
Christopher Sander.
Good afternoon. Please state your name and relationship to the property.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Mickey Marrero from the law firm of Burkhardt, Riddell, Fernandez, and Larkin. I am the attorney for the property owner.
Okay.
Okay, Vanessa Willis, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. The order to comply was given last magistrate, stating that by 12 noon on Wednesday, May 29, 2019, that they should be in compliance or pay a fine up to $1,000 per day if the fine or if the violation continues beyond the time and date set for compliance of the order. And to date, they are not in compliance. I have and I
What
will
did you
show
have the
it.
fine amount as?
1,000.
Huh?
$1,000.
What item is this?
I think she said 14.
14?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have 250.
Yes, I have that. But Your Honor, before we get into that, could I speak briefly?
Sure. Are we
Or-
looking at the same thing? Ms. Lewis, I just want to give her an opportunity.
Willis.
to say- Huh?
Willis.
I'm sorry, yes.
It's okay. I'm reading. That's the only thing that I see is the $1,000 fine on here.
Your Honor,
Says up to $1,000.
Okay, the notice always says up to, but I'm looking at the
Okay.
note that says 250. Got it. Okay.
And, just so that council can see what I have, and I'm going to show it to you, but let me just read it into the record. On June 4th, 2019, according to the map, says huge luxury waterfront pool, and I think this is supposed to be hot tub. It just says hot ... And it's a vacation home, and it is definitely advertised on the website. Let me just give this to him so he can take a look before I pass it up.
Yes.
One moment.
And Your Honor, if I may, we were here at the last special magistrate. Mr. Smith was here, and there's no question that the home had been rented short-term. They got the violation. We met with the city. They agreed to stop. There were advertisements placed, and what I told Mr. Smith and Ms. Willis at the time, and by the way, I've been in touch with the city manager, with the city attorney on multiple occasions. We identified Airbnb for sure that had, despite my client's request to remove it, was still keeping it online. We sent them correspondence. I copied Ms. Willis on it back in the beginning of April, and Airbnb ultimately removed it. My client identified 6 other websites. None of those 6 they had advertised on, that had repopulated the advertisement. What happens, because it happens a lot in Miami Beach too, when you initially have a short-term rental, what oftentimes happens is agents will repopulate that link on their sites, and then if they get a client, they then call you. This is not my client. We on April 18th, April 22nd, April 26th, May 1st, and then to the city manager and city attorney, May 17th, I requested from the city to confirm that we had found everyone that we had that was still advertising, we had removed. Apparently, there's something else out there. I spoke to my client this morning. He searched, could not find any others. He has not rented the home short-term for months. And I don't, we're sort of at a loss. I had hoped and I thought the direction of Mr. Smith was that if the city found some, it would tell us. But instead of doing that, after 2 months, they're showing me this here at the hearing. We tried. I was working with my client. He showed me everything he removed. I sent correspondence to the city. I don't know what else I can do. If someone illegally is using their, I was a victim once of an illegal real estate listing. We'll have this removed tomorrow. We'll request from this website, but they're really trying to comply. I've spoken to Mr. Cazot. I've spoken to Mr. Spring. I don't know what else I can do here. I really, I will happily reach out to this website tomorrow on behalf of my client to get it removed, but they've tried to remove everything. And if they would have showed me this instead of today, one of the 6 times I emailed the city, I could have had this one removed too.
And when did the city learn about this new website?
Today. Today is the 4th. What happens is almost like a cat and mouse. And if you can look at that so I can forward that up, please.
Sure.
Basically, it's like a cat and mouse. Yeah, you won't see it today, but you'll see it tomorrow. You'll see it 2 weeks from now. So, yes, he's right. He has been sending emails. And when I'm able to respond, I do respond. However, that doesn't negate from the fact that, and I hear everything that he's saying, and but I'm just stating the facts that, it'll be gone for a week or 2 weeks. And like he said, another website will pick it up and you'll see it. Maybe it's on Rooms, I was going to say Rooms to Go, Homes to Go, different websites that they have that do short-term rentals. And it'll be gone in maybe 2 weeks. And then again, it'll pop up, it'll resurface.
But it's not my client advertising it. I mean, I can get you an affidavit. If you want to, I can get an affidavit. I don't know how else. If someone is illegally using, it's a beautiful home. It's an attractive home. Other websites are using it either as a scam or repopulating it, but it's not them. And we've removed, at least that I know of, Airbnb and 6 others. I just, to find them for something they've not done, they're not renting it. There's no evidence that they've rented it since.
We're not here for the rental, so let's not touch on that because I do have evidence that they have rented it. So we won't go there. We're just talking about advertising only.
Sure.
So don't, my advice.
So, Your Honor, I don't know what you would like us to do. If you want an affidavit that I can, they're not advertising.
All right, let me turn to the city attorney and trying to understand where do we go from here. Because if they're taking the necessary steps to contact all the different providers and tell them to take down the ad, and how do they control all the other sites that are popping up?
If it's their allegation that they've not been the ones to advertise on this site and they're claiming that it's an illegal listing, the city would request evidence that they have taken steps and actions to notify the site of the illegal listing and taken some action to try to remove it from that site.
And
Okay.
we provided that for at least for Airbnb. What I can do, because some of them are phone calls, what I can do is I can get an affidavit that we've, or at least a letter from me that we've contacted the following websites. I can't predict there won't be a 7th that pops up, but I really believe we are in compliance of this violation.
All right, so let's do this. Let's table it or reset it, and so that council can have an opportunity to contact this side and provide the city attorney with a list.
So and just so I'm clear, what would the city attorney's, I'm happy to call Jeff tomorrow or the director of code. Is it a letter from us confirming those websites they've seen, an affidavit? Yeah.
Because you've alleged that this new one was one that you haven't contacted because you weren't aware of it, and it was one that you haven't
And just
secured
to clear,
personally.
my clients have contacted them. I've been copied on some of that, but
Have they contacted this particular website?
I can't tell you for sure because a lot of them they have removed, and as she said, they pop up again and they call again. So I for sure Airbnb was removed. That one was the most difficult one. We had a conversation. We have the dialogue that I forwarded. That one is it just a Google? Or what was it? I just looked at the
Is it
pictures.
Google Maps? I don't know. Pass it forward.
And it's not
Google
just this one.
Maps.
I'll give a list of all the other ones that we've contacted.
I have one in black and white you can take with you.
Okay.
Just need the color one. And it's the same one, just in black and white.
I mean, I didn't realize Google Maps was even, I don't recall us to contact, I didn't realize they were like an advertising site. It's a directional site, but, so maybe they didn't check this site because they didn't recognize it as a vacation rental site.
And that's what
Yeah.
that's what I'm getting
Yeah.
at. So the city would advise with with it being tabled and reset for additional period of time to use that time to try to take some steps and actions to remove it off of that listing site.
Okay.
And then you can also bring the letters, because it's, really not on me or my responsibility to bring those things, but the same things you've been emailing me, to bring them as proof,
Sure.
that you've done what you needed to do.
So when will we table this to?
July 17th.
Okay. That's fine.
All
At
right.
6 p.m.?
Correct.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye.
The next item on the agenda is going to be item number 40 for Shanna Sanders, Susan Backham. The case number is CELSC 2019-00005, item 40.
Is anyone present for that case? Oh, that's delayed. Okay, got it.
English. Higher than the top one.
Good evening. Please state your full name in relationship to the property.
What?
Full name.
Susanna Bacom.
All right.
I don't speak English, and I don't understand too much either. If they possible, I go home, or they're gonna give me another time to come in.
Heard this case before.
I don't
They've
speak
c-
English.
She's appeared before me. before.
She's been before she's been before the magistrate for different cases in the past, yes.
And she speaks perfect English, doesn't she?
She speaks enough that I believe she would understand. We've spoken at the property several times. She spoke with the officer who was in the zone before me.
Yeah, but if I don't speak English, what can I? If they asking me, I cannot answering. Don't you understand?
Said in perfect pitch.
I'll let the city decide how they want to proceed, but I have Code Officer Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Office. We have spoke at the property a few times. She's also spoken with the officer before me. If we take our time, I think she'll be able to understand, but she speaks well enough English that we have been able to have conversations.
The city would ask that we proceed, and if there's any difficulties that seem to be of a language barrier, that we consider it at that time. But in hearing her speaking in English, it doesn't appear that language is a challenge.
All right. Go ahead.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. This is a new case for the general maintenance and landscaping of the property. I originally sat at the property March 14, 2019, where I initially sent a notice of violation. I didn't receive a call back, so I went back to the property again on 4/23, whereas I spoke to the property owner. We had a detailed conversation about just the overall condition of the property. So much tree debris and trees you can't even see the house. She said that she would have this gentleman here cut back some trees, trim back some trees. When I went back to the property a week later, very little was cut, and very, very little, and compared to the overall property. I went back on the property on the 29th, last Wednesday, to take pictures. She pointed out another small pile that he had cut. Again, very little in comparison to what needed to be cut. As of last week, the 29th, when I rode by, the house still looks completely covered with trees. You can't even see the house. She needs to cut back a lot. She has called me. I have met her to the property 2 or 3 different times. I've gotten out the car, pointed out exactly what needs to be cut, but she's cutting back maybe a branch or 2. But, you know, I have pictures if you would like to see how the house looks.
Yes.
The whole
please.
house, the frontage needs to be cut.
Okay.
I'm showing, come up here, Miss Susan. Is this your house?
Yeah.
This your house?
Look like.
Miss Susan. Miss Susan, you might want to pay attention. Come up here so she can, you know, pay attention. When she's up. Okay. Just stand right here and pay
So what I
attention.
say if I don't speak English?
Speaking to the mic, ma'am. Speaking to the microphone.
Yeah? I
Yes.
don't speak English. I don't understand English and I don't speak just teeny bit. If you ask something, I can answer. Because
Okay.
I don't speak English.
Okay.
Do you understand
What-
when I met you at the property and I pointed, Miss Susan, do you recall when I met you at the property the 2 or 3 times and I pointed out all the tree debris that needed to be cut? I pointed out all the stuff that needed to be cut at the property. Stand over there.
Speaking to
Stand
the
over
mic,
there.
ma'am. Speaking to the microphone.
Yeah.
Okay.
He cut a tree already, the front.
And if you look at the pictures depicted there, it was actually, I believe, Wednesday, 2 days before their scheduled picked up day. That shows exactly what he cut. You can see the front of the house, and as you see that small pile. That's
Okay.
about how much he cuts.
He said he was cut the tree.
Speaking to the microphone, ma'am.
He said he was cut the tree almost every day. About half a ton of tree going out. But he has heart attack. He can do too much. Just
He cannot do too many heavy lifting.
not too heavy because he has heart attack. 2 heart attack. And I get stroke. And like heart attack.
Okay. So, I mean, there's a lot of trees.
And that, yes, as you see, it's a lot of trees. You can't even see the house.
Right.
It's a hazard. You can't, you know, the entire neighborhood is complaining. You can't even see the house.
How did it get this bad?
I mean,
These are full-grown trees.
these are full-grown trees, full-grown bushes, shrubbery, everything.
Where's the entrance to this house? What's the entrance to this property? So you want them to cut this entire section here? You want them to clear up the path, the entrance to the property?
Yes, all of that needs to be cut back, whereas we can at least see the house.
Okay.
I met her at the property. You know, I pointed out, you know, and we definitely had a conversation a couple of times, and it's not that she's not understanding. She specifically stated she does not want to cut the trees because she likes the trees for the shade. She likes it for protection. She says she doesn't have AC. She doesn't have storm shutters, so she wants to keep all of this stuff because she feels it protects the house.
Protect the house.
As I told her, you can't use trees to as hurricane and storm shutters. You need to install storm panels or storm shutters. She says everyone in Keystone had damage except her because she had all of this protection around her house.
You know, those big trees, I lived there 70 years. All the time was there. If they get hurricane or everything, nothing out of closest the house, everybody having the window go, everything. Mine is stayed the way they, because the trees hold the wind and doesn't do any harm, the
Okay.
hurricane.
And you said it's been how long?
I'll be there 60 years.
6 or 60?
60.
60.
Never do anything.
Go speak into the microphone.
Okay. 60 years over there, and I never did anything because the hurricane and everything came. Those three pick up the wind, and they can do any bad thing in front of the house.
Okay. Well, I appreciate,
You know,
the
it's a
conversation.
tree, and beside it, the trees give you the air, the good air. So you cut it out, and then you wanna get breathe. It's no oxygen because cut out the tree.
Okay.
I even
Jer-
talked to my doctor, and he said it's no such a thing like that. He don't understand either.
Okay. For the record, you have just explained everything that's going on that property in pitch perfect English. Having lived here at least 60 years,
Yeah.
which I gather from your testimony today, and you just explained this whole situation to me in English.
Little bit.
No, well, it's more than a little bit. It's more than a little bit. You speak perfect English, but when we first started, you told me that you didn't understand and you speak a little bit, and because you were trying to stall the process. You were hoping that I would reset this case, correct?
I don't know. I can.
But you speak perfect English. You understand perfectly, Miss Bacom. How do I spell her name? Okay. You speak perfect English.
I wish I do.
Yes, you do. You speak perfect English, and you have been at that location for 60 years, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And
So
nobody ever came, and nobody
speak into the microphone.
nobody ever did to come to the house to me, and they tell me do this and do this and do that.
No one has come. You're saying that you have never met this officer here?
Which one?
The one right next to you?
This?
Yes.
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No.
Okay. All right. Take a good look at her because you're going to be seeing her again. You're going to see her again. Ma'am,
Yeah.
the city wants you to clear out all the trees, all the leaves, what else is there? The front of the house. Go back into the mic. Speaking to the microphone.
Yeah. All those three, which one I have it over 60 years. Nobody ever come to my house to do this and do this.
I do find it interesting because we are talking about grown trees. So do we just want her to trim the leaves? Because I know that she didn't just grow those grown trees overnight. Why has it taken the city so long?
I'm not asking her to cut the entire tree. I'm
Okay.
asking her to, some of this canopy of this tree needs to be cut. As you
Okay.
She has greenery and shrubs, some bushes that are on there,
Got
some
it.
cherry bushes that has grown. I mean, now I don't know, I'm 5 even. They have to be at least, I can't even see because they're growing all into the trees. She has trees and bushes. I clearly, and I'll meet her again at the property, if you, whatever is decided today to point out. But I showed her some of this canopy of this tree needs to be cut out. These bushes need to be cleared out along the front. As you see, you couldn't even tell where the front door is. You can't even see the walkway. All of these bushes and shrubbery.
All right, Ms. Backham, this is what I'm going to do. You have to listen to me. Sir, listen to what I'm saying. I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'm going to table this case. I'm not going to make a ruling today because if I do, it's not going to be in your favor. Because first you misled me into thinking that you didn't speak or understood English. And from my conversation with you, you speak perfect English and you understand everything that's going on here. You're giving me the 2 thumbs up because you realize you've been caught, right? So you speak perfect English and you understand exactly what's going on. And the officer is going to come to your house again for the 3rd time Basically, she's going to show you, right, the areas that needs to be cut and what you need to do. I don't know that your husband or your son, I don't want to mislabel who the gentleman is. I don't know if he's going to be able to do the work. You may have to hire somebody to come and do the work.
Elég sokat, meg kell nézni.
You have to listen.
Maybe 2 tonna.
You have to listen.
He said to me, he just take out 2 tons.
2 tons?
Yeah.
Okay.
Volt olyan hét kétszer vitték.
All right. Maybe he needs to cut down
They
some
said
more.
there was, the people, the city taking away the trees about.
Okay, he may have to cut down some more. And the officer has volunteered that she's going to come by again to tell you exactly what needs to be done. So by the time you come back here, okay?
But the gorgeous tree, big.
I understand. She doesn't want you to cut the big trees, but she does want you to clean it up a little bit because no one can see the house. Okay? They want to be able to see the house.
You can see the house, you cannot.
Okay.
Thank God for it.
Okay. Back up, please. All right, let's just reset this.
Yeah.
Ma'am, if you come back here and knowing that the officer's going to meet with you and tell you what needs to be done, when you come back before me or before the next special magistrate on July 17th, if the work is not done,
Take out all those big trees.
no.
No.
Okay, speak to the officer outside. Speak to the officer outside, okay?
Have to take down all of big tree.
No, ma'am. That's not what you're being asked to
they
do.
pointed out in case somebody can point at this tree, this tree, this tree. And
Yeah,
this.
she'll show you what needs
So-
to be done,
so-
okay?
But not to take out because I've been lived there so many years.
I understand.
It's the first time so it's happened what's happening now.
I understand. Okay?
Oh,
We'll resolve it, but you have to do your part, okay?
Yeah, thank
All
you.
right.
I'm
Have a good
sorry to
evening.
bothering you. Oh,
That's all right.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Same
All
to
right.
you.
Bye-bye.
The next item is item 34, Pedro Pupo. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer in the case number CERCV 2019-00024, item 34.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening. Please state your full name and relationship to the property.
Hi, my full name is Pedro Luis Garro. I'm the owner of the property.
Good evening, Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. The property 1085 Northwest 122 Street was cited for an RV and boat that are being stored on a property without an administrative variance. The last time I checked in the computer, they applied for a variance on April 30th, but it still has not been granted.
Sir?
Yeah, I applied for the permission, and the lady on Monday, Amanda, I think, they go to a property, and she said now I have to move the boat, more entries, and lift for the graph, and they never told me that part.
Say that one more time, sir.
I had to move the boat
Uh-huh.
a little bit behind from the gate and lift for the graph.
And
Lift
lift
it.
it. Okay. Have you done that?
No, I tell her I don't have a truck right now if I can move, so you can give me some time. He said, sure. You just call me. She give me the number, and I'm gonna call her as soon as I done it.
Okay. All right. No problem. Reset. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
How many days?
Huh?
You said reset, how many days?
We don't have anything next month or this month on July 3rd.
It'll be for July 17th.
Correct. So once it's done, you can contact the phone number and make sure you contact the officer as well.
Yeah, I have
Okay.
to rent a truck so I can move the RV and
Got
the
it.
boat.
Okay. Good luck to you, sir.
Okay.
The next item is item number 2 for 124 Street Investments LLC. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer. The case number is CESIP 2018-00115, item number 2.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir.
Robert Kahn, the attorney for the owner, 124 Street Investments.
Okay.
Good evening, Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. The property 12425 Northwest 7th Avenue was cited for the signage on the windows at Classy Lady Beauty Supply. I received the email from Mr. Khan today, and I also drove by the property to verify, and the signage has been removed.
Okay, it's closed.
Yes.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good evening.
You too.
The next two items are item 18 and 19, Fritz Charles. Wayne Clark is the officer. The case number is CEEXP 2019-00056, and the second case is CEFAW 2019-00061.
Good evening, sir. Please state your full name and relationship to the property.
Jeffrey Rod, I live there.
Okay.
Okay, Vanessa Willis, hearing the case for Wayne Clark, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. Yes, officer. So, CEFAW 2019-0061 is to repair the boundary CBS block wall and paint an approved color. They were cited back on March 5th, 2019, and to date, there has been no work done. I have photos that I will put into record. It'll show Mr. Charles.
I never got no citation.
He's spoken with, I did speak with Mr. Clark extensively, and I don't know if it was you or maybe your dad or older gentleman.
Nope, I live by myself.
Okay, well, I don't know. He said it was a guy who he spoke with, and what they did was they put two colors. You'll see on the photos where they put two colors on the wall, trying to show him these are the colors that they were intending to paint, but they have never painted. And there's no, let me just finish. You can speak, but let me just finish. There's no paint permit or anything. We're just asking you to paint. But let me show you the photos, and then.
I know how my house looks. I'm good. I know how my house looks.
What is your, what is the relationship to the property?
I live there. I've been there forever. I was raised in that house. My mother owned the house.
Okay, that's what I wanted to get. Okay, your
All right.
mom owns, because I wasn't sure if you're a tenant. I wasn't sure what the relationship to the property was. Okay.
So one
All right,
violation is for the wall, and the other one is for the house itself.
Okay. And these were taking in the 14. Okay. Do you understand the violation, sir?
Yeah, but I never received a first notice, and that paint marking was on the wall since last year, so it has nothing to do with Mr. Wayne, whatever his name is. Because last person I was dealing with was Jean Baptiste, and that was like last year, and that had nothing to do with the paint. I chose that paint, and me and my mom had a disagreement on the color. So we came to a standstill because it was rainy season, and then this is where I'm at right now. Because she said the colors are too dark, and she wants me to choose a lighter color.
Okay. All right. And this opened in March? Back in
Yes.
March?
And so where are these notices going? Because I spoke to you guys before about they were going to New York, and it makes no sense going to New York, and then why was not going straight to the house in Florida?
Miami-Dade Property Appraisers has your mailing address as 188 Main Avenue, Wheatley Heights, New York, 11798-2128. If that is the incorrect address, what you would want to do is contact Miami-Dade Property Appraisers and have them change it on the record. They're the ones who possibly made the error. But we're going by what Miami-Dade...
I mean, that's my mother's house, but in the same time, if a notice, you should send it to the house where I can where I can receive it.
Right.
It goes to that house, it's not going to be... It's basically going to go into...
She's not making that decision.
I understand
What she's
that,
telling
but
you is-
I mean, if you're going to put a note... So, but why did they put this notice on my house this time to tell me to come to court, but they didn't give me a warning notice before to about, oh, you need to paint?
He has. He said he posted the property. He left his business card sometime after that, and he's never, other than the time that he spoke, he said a gentleman at the property. He's never spoken to anyone since that time.
Only time, if that's Mr. Wayne came to my property, when he first he gave me a ticket on my truck, then he towed my truck the following week. And then my neighbor next door told me they were towing my truck.
Mm-hmm.
So if he spoke to somebody, that's the only time he spoke about it, and they never talked about it. They talked about what the towing company who towed my truck.
Okay.
So I don't know who this person is. It make no sense of leaving a note. If you're not leaving it in the mailbox, how am I gonna get it?
Yeah, but we're not legally able to leave anything in your mailbox.
So, but then
That's
you
a
saying he's
federal
leaving his
offense.
business card, like, you see the front of the house, it's gonna get blown away, whatever. So,
Okay.
All right, and you said the address in New York, that's your mother's address?
yes,
Okay, and your mother is the rightful owner of this property, correct?
yes.
Okay. Based on the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I find in favor of the city. I enter an adjudication. Sir, you have until July 10th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $250.
You gonna charge me $250 to paint a house?
Correct.
No pressure.
There's one more case on the property, which is CEFAW 2019-00061.
Special magistrate, I'm just advising him that if he feels like he needs more time to paint, because he does have to get a painting permit, it doesn't cost you anything. The city just needs to approve the color. So if you feel like you need more time, and I'm not encouraging that, but if you do, as opposed to getting upset, it may be advisable
I'm not getting upset.
to
It
just
just makes no
ask
sense, but it's all
for,
good. Just
for
go to the next case.
August. So
You were offering him till August?
I was saying that he needed to ask. It was just my opinion, my advice.
All right. Go ahead. Pilar?
Case.
I'm sorry.
I just called it
I was a
into
little
record.
stuck. I'm sorry. Okay, so the other violation is to paint the house. And that one was cited at the same time, March 5th, 2019, by Mr. Clark.
Well,
And
didn't that's what she just said about painting? So
she
what?
was speaking of the wall around the house, the masonry wall. And this one is for the house, right? Or did we do the house first and now we're doing the wall?
Exterior wall and paint an approved color.
Mhm.
Repair the boundary CVS block wall and paint an approved color.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's the difference between these two?
As you notice on the photos, there's a brick wall on the exterior of the house. So that's a different code section. You have to cite the wall or the fence, the wrought iron gate, separately from the house. So
What's
because
wrong with
it's
the
a
wrought iron
different-
gate?
No, I'm speaking in general of a code violation that when you cite, if you had an iron gate, it would fall under this particular code section. You have a masonry wall, so he's asking you to paint the masonry wall, the brick wall.
No question.
All right. Same ruling. All right, sir. Good luck to you.
The next case is item number 10, Ambrosio Corp. Ernest Baptiste is the officer. Case number SDNOV 2019-00068, item number 10.
Ambrosino Corp, sorry.
I'm sorry?
Ambrosino Corp.
Okay. It's the officer.
Ernest Baptiste, City North Miami Code Enforcement Officer. This is a case that was open for a dumpster enclosure. Dumpster in the rear of the building. It's out or in the open, it's not enclosed and screened. Spoke to the owner and they say they are in the process of enclose the dumpster. So I would love to see any step that you have taken.
Well, I called the surveyor company because we needed a new survey. I told them that I needed the survey by the 2nd. I lied. I said that I had to come here on the 2nd. And they gave me the survey today. That's number one. But I already had the plans done by an architect and an engineer for the enclosure using the old survey, and they trusted me that the property hadn't changed. So I sent him sent him today the new survey. He said that it was okay, that everything in here is still valid. So I have copies of the drawings, and I have copies of the survey if you need them. And the company that I hired, it's called South Florida Restoration.
Okay.
And I told him that I was going to come to the city yesterday because they had something that they call open walk-in or something, walk-in permit, something like that, to inquire about pulling the permit in my name.
Okay.
And he said not to do it, that he wanted to pull the permit under the company name.
Okay. Did he go to building and zoning? Did he apply for the permit? Did he
No, because
submit?
he said that he needed the survey and the drawing.
Okay.
And I just got the drawing on Monday and the
Okay.
survey today.
Okay.
I sent it to him by email, but it's going to take them a couple of days to give me a quote.
Okay.
They're the ones that are going to do also the facade.
Okay. And now you're gonna need more some time.
Sorry?
You're gonna need more time.
Yeah, for them to pull the permit and build it.
Okay.
I would assume that if they're, reliable construction, they seem to be, they shouldn't take more than, I don't know if they do the aluminum gates also, because it's a different type of enclosure than the chain link fence. I don't like the chain link fence, and I had the architect design exactly, something that is along the lines of the building, and that it's going to look totally closed, because we have a problem that we have a building across the alley with people that leave their stuff on our side of the garbage of the alley, in our garbage dumpster or on the sides of the dumpsters, and we keep, cleaning up things that people leave, and there's no. I wanted to do this one with a roof, actually, and the architect said, no, don't do that, because then it's going to be an added situation with the smell and with this and that. So I'm doing it at his request without a roof, but it's completely closed because I don't want any more of these people leaving things next to the dumpster. It's a nightmare.
So how much time do you need?
I need the company to tell me how long is it going to take for them to build it. Do you want to look at the drawings? No?
The drawing is not for me. It's for the building and zoning. They're the one that's gonna need to see your drawing, and so all I need to know is, did you apply for the permit?
No, not yet.
And when the contractor is going to apply?
He's going to apply this week at some point.
So I'm gonna ask for an adjudication and give him 2 months.
Okay, that's fair.
I did come to you. I'm sorry. My name's Alexis Sanfield, and I did come to him.
Speak into the microphone. Bring the microphone down.
I did go to Mr. Batiste and tell him that my landlord had broken both his hands. He has pictures. He was in the hospital for a really long time with both broken arms, so he couldn't do anything for a really long time. So I did explain this to him, and then he said he would give us time, and then we get this notice. So I just wanted to put that out there. And when he says that there is garbage put on the side
Doesn't matter.
I know,
I mean,
when
two
I
months is
find
enough.
everything that is left by my neighbors, baby carriages and stuff. So there's so much garbage being put on our side by other people who live in the neighborhood. Just saying.
And honestly, only because of her being one of my best tenants, it's unfair that she gets the notices to clean that up when it's obvious that it's not garbage that comes from a restaurant.
Or any of the other neighbors.
All right. Okay. Based on the testimony and your the stipulation, I'll enter an adjudication, and then I will give you 2 months. Well, Everyone has been getting 2 months by default, and so I'll give you 3 months. You have until July 31st.
July
Okay.
31st?
Correct.
That's less than 3 months.
I'm
That's
sorry.
less than 2 months.
August 28th. I apologize.
It's going to be done by the end of July anyway.
So once it's done, contact the officer. If it's not done and there's no continuance, then when I address this case again, whether it's myself or another special magistrate, then they will see my notes. There will be a daily fine amount of $350.
Okay.
Okay. Good
I've
luck
already
to
spent
you.
$2,500 in the drawings and the survey. There's no going back.
Thank you.
All right.
The next item is item 30.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Item 38, Richard Thompson. Shanna Sanders is the officer. The case number CEODS 2019-00037, item 38.
Good evening, sir. Please state your full name in relationship to the property.
Yeah, I'm Richard W. Thompson. I'm the owner.
All right, sir.
I was just here, wasn't I?
Yes, I know.
Seems
the
like I was
voice.
just here.
It feels like it, huh?
Doesn't it feel like I was just here last night? You gave me a...
No, give me 1 second.
Go
Allow
ahead.
the city to present
Okay,
her case, and then I'll give you an opportunity to respond.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. This is a case for reports of previous compliance. Just giving a brief, synopsis. It was originally opened on February 27th. I'm sorry, I'm looking because it's out of order. February 27, 2019. As he's already stated, he's been back here. He's been here a couple of times as of last week. On the 29th of May, the outdoor storage, the wood that's in the rear of the property that it was originally cited for still remained at the property. I spoke with Mr. Thompson on the telephone. Very uncomfortable conversation. Every time he calls, always huffing, puffing, cussing, carrying on. But as of the 29th, the items still remain in the rear of the property. I'll let the property owner explain what's going on and why it's still there.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes, ma'am. The wood she's talking about, the materials, they've been removed. And it was her supervisor came out and talked to me, a nice man, realized there was an emergency situation going on while she was, infatuated with me. She's a little bit overboard on Mr. Thompson, this and that. I'm wondering if she's, has nightmares or something. I've done nothing to her. I don't even know her. I think she's only worked for you 6 months. But the only reason I talked to her on the phone, I'm no huffing and puffing or nothing. My whole program right now till I die is to get the you-know-what out of here, period. My friends are gone. There's been no food, no beverage at Hollover Beach, and no lifeguard for 27 years. Not days, not months, years. Donald Trump himself, hate him, like him, love him, I don't know. Trumpy bear, I don't care. Okay? But he would say the same darn thing. Okay? She posts things out on my post so that the neighbor at 2020, where you can't see his house, 2030, same thing. Overgrown, those are her pals. So I think what it is what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I have pictures here I showed her earlier. She don't want to see them. I've removed all the wood. I removed it a few days ago, way before the 30 days. I was just in here on the 29th. So you gave me a certain amount of days. Within 1 day after we left this courtroom, my dear magistrate, she's posting stuff on my fence. 1 day after we leave here, you give me a reasonable amount of time to correct the situation. And so I go at it. I also have to make money to eat, to feed myself and pay these bills. And I am. And she's posting stuff on my yard there So this neighbor that's her friend a couple houses down that nobody likes in the world, I haven't seen him with a friend yet, so he can see that she's posting me. Well, I'm going to ruin your nightmares. I'm leaving now. I called my real estate agent today. He's not happy about it. I'm going to tell him to fly a kite from here all the way to Timbuktu, okay? I'm calling a man that's going to give me market value for the house tomorrow. I'm going to close with him immediately, and I'm leaving forever a happy man, a normal man. I never had a felony in my life.
Okay,
I
this is
saved
not-
a lot of lives.
Sir,
no, I want to tell you.
sir.
They seem to think that they're afraid of me. They're afraid of the truth. They're afraid of God. They're afraid of what's right and what's wrong. That's
Okay.
what it is. But I corrected the problem, ma'am.
Okay.
And you can see the pictures. And I'm not a bad guy. I'm a great guy. I save people on the ocean. I saved them on Lake Michigan. I own a big marina there. If I'm not there, it's in the ground, and that's where it is right now.
Okay.
And people that committed homicide and were convicted of it are sitting there grabbing money and putting it in their pocket, no receipt, no nothing. And this guy murdered my dad. 1987, 32 years ago, he's struggling and fighting for his life. Okay,
I remember
And-
that story.
Well, it's not a
So-
story, ma'am. It's a fact.
Okay.
When you look in, I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to email it to you. Okay. You're going to get that he murdered his own brother in 1976 and was convicted of it.
I understand,
Okay?
sir.
So,
For the-
so to keep thinking that somebody's
Can we
dreaming
talk
this is
about
wrong.
the case that we're here today?
I am. Here's the picture.
No, sir.
Here's the
Let me
pictures
ask
I
you,
complied with.
when did you go back for reinspection, and what did you find?
When I went back on the 29th of May, which is our recheck date for today's magistrate, the items were still at the property. Myself, Code Officer Aaron Barber, and Marine Patrol Officer Gene Sosa went out on the waterways, and it was still there on May 29th,
On May 29th?
last Wednesday. I have photos if you would like to see.
Yes, please. And sir, I'm sorry, it went blank. You can show it to the officer.
Well, I showed her the pictures.
Okay.
On the
I don't see a
29th?
date stamped on your photos.
Probably, yeah. I hadn't got to him yet. I was out working trying to make money. That's all. Yeah, it's complied with now. It's all gone. I got rid of all of it. I discarded some, and some I saved it, the better stuff, and it's off the waterway. You can't see it. It's out of public view completely, which is what I was asked to do.
All
So I
right.
did, but she jumps the gun on a lot of things. She likes to jump the gun and hurry up, and I think even for her own sake, to never hear the word Mr. Thompson or see him again would be a great thing for you.
Okay, so the abatement date was the 29th, and the photographs that were shown to me was taken on the 29th, and based on your
What
own
day
testimony,
was I in court?
you were here on the 2nd, correct? Or was it May 1st?
I'm showing here May 2nd.
May 2nd?
Yes.
I don't think so.
You were here. You're referring. You were here for another case, but that was for the boat. That's why
Yeah.
just to get.
It
on
wasn't
just-
for this. I was here for the boat on the 15th.
But he was here for this case on the 2nd.
Okay.
I don't.
He has multiple cases going on, so he's been presented before different magistrates.
What's going on, ma'am? There's not multiple cases or any kind of craziness, okay? I've never been a criminal. I've never been a felon. I've never been in prison. I never will be, okay? All this nonsense is to help cover up somebody who's a member of the same church that they belong to, and that's obvious. It ain't
All
the
right.
kind of church you're thinking about either, is it? So,
All right.
I complied with it, man. The wood pile is gone, and I'm trying to move. I'm trying within days. I'm hoping that I can get somebody. I've got 2 guys that want market value for it and never come back. Thank God I haven't buried any relatives or anybody I loved at one time here. But like I say, the town is a disaster. There's nothing left.
I understand.
I don't know how you can. They took the gas out of Hollover. There's no more safety. The towboats left. They went to West Palm Beach.
I understand, sir. I'm
So
ready
there's
to
no way you
roll.
can fish.
Okay.
You can't do anything.
All right.
It's
Have you had
sorrowful.
an opportunity to go back?
Did you go back?
No, we don't go back. Our last reinspection date since your you said that it should have been you said that it should have been abated by the 29th. That's when we do our last reinspection. We don't go back every day.
Ma'am, that's
or
not even
multiple
30
times.
days. You're on the 30 days right now. I was in court here, you're saying on the 2nd. You give everybody 30, 60 days. Why would you give me 25? Why would she post something on my fence a day after I get out of your courtroom? You know, it was like harassment.
I give everyone
telling
an
you.
abatement date.
Well,
Your
I don't see how
abatement
you,
date-
if I was here on the 29th, ma'am, sorry to interrupt you, but how could you give me abatement day on the 29th? That's only 20-some days. That's not even 30 days. You're closer to 30 days today on the 5th. Yeah,
You were given an abatement date.
I don't think so.
The 29th. And when the officer showed up on the 29th,
I don't think you gave me
you were
abatement
still in
that quick.
violation. So I will ratify the fine amount retroactive to the 29th, and that only going to cover till today because his photographs are indicating that that it was cleaned. So I don't know. You were saying that you don't go back and do an inspection.
No, our last reinspection date is the day, it's the 29th, the week before the meeting. A week before the meeting.
Okay. So what is the city asking?
I'm asking for the fine to be ratified. I haven't went out. I went out on my last reinspection date, which is the 29th, the day that you gave him to comply by, and on the 29th, the wood was still there.
I understand I did ratify the daily fine amount, but there's got to be a time frame for you to go back to.
And it was the
to inspect.
29th. It was the 29th, and that's when I went back. And as of that date, it was still there. You gave him until the 29th to remove it, and on the 29th, it was still there.
Okay. And I ratified the fine retroactive to May 29th. He's showing evidence that he is now in compliance. Let me speak to the city attorney.
City would request that you table it and allow the officer to perform a site visit to verify whether or not the violation is in fact complied.
Okay. All right. So
Thank you.
we'll table it.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
ma'am.
Okay.
Just, it's a sorrowful way to end life, and the way it is. And my friends and family up in Michigan, they put together a coalition for the Great Lakes states, all of them, including Detroit, Michigan, where one of our favorite basketball players, Mr. Dave Bing, is presiding as the mayor of Detroit. And we have a lot of crazy issues to solve, and we're going to do them.
All right, sir. Good luck
Absolutely.
to
So
you.
when I leave here, you wonder where I'm going. I'm going home like a brave man would go with God.
All right.
Okay?
Good luck to you.
We're gonna fix this.
All right, sir.
Okay. My dad, he wants closure.
All right.
The next item is item 28, Marie Rainval. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer. The case number CEWWC 2019-00028, item 28.
Good evening. Please state your full name in relationship to the property.
Mary Granville, I'm the owner.
And I'm a son.
All right.
Yeah. How you doing today?
Very well, thank you.
That's good.
All right.
Good evening, Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. The property 985 Northeast 138th Street was cited for a blue tarp on the roof. As of the reinspection date of May 29th, the tarp remains.
Oh, it's for the tarp?
Yes, the tarp.
No, you gave. No, you gave us for the car.
That was another violation. I spoke to, not sure if he's your
That's
dad.
yeah, that's my dad.
Yeah, I spoke to him.
So you took that one out?
That one's close.
Okay, so you're talking about the tarp on the roof?
Yes.
Okay. But I didn't even know we got a paper for that. I thought we got it for the car. But for the tarp, we have flooding on the roof, and we have our insurance company. We're trying to get money for it, and they offered us like $8,000 for a whole roof, and it's not enough. So they had to decline it or something, and then we sent another one, and we're waiting on a reply back so we could, because anytime it rains, the house floods. So that's why the tarp is there. I didn't even know it was for the tarp, but yeah. So I'm good with the car thing, though.
No, the car's
All right,
good.
cool.
It's close.
But yeah, it's for the tarp. It's for the tarp, yeah.
90 days?
Do you think we could table it
90 days.
for?
All right, sir. 90 days.
So we
Good
good?
luck to you.
Hey, thank
You're
you so
good.
much.
You're welcome.
The next item is item 11, Antoinette Etienne. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer. The case number is CEIVY 2019-00067, item number 11.
Good evening. Please state your full name in relationship to the property.
I am Antoinette Etienne. I'm her granddaughter. Residing in, they know where you live.
Good evening, Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis, property 700 Northeast 138th Street, was cited for an inoperable vehicle. The property has a sedan, an SUV that is parked on the property with a brown tarp, and it has extensive front end damage. When I observed the vehicle, the wind had blew the tarp off. Mrs. Marie was outside with some workers, called it over, and I said, "Hey, Miss Marie, what's going on with the car?" Oh, sorry, Miss Antoinette Etienne, sorry. And she said that the car belongs to her granddaughter. Give her a second, she'll call her out. She called the granddaughter out. The granddaughter wasn't too happy that I was questioning her about the car. She said the car is on their property. What business is it of the city? But per the city ordinance, any vehicle that's on private or public property cannot remain if it's wrecked. And the vehicle is wrecked. I asked her how long will it be before they removed it. She said 2 months. The car's still there.
I have to clarify some of the stuff she stated. It is inaccurate.
State your full name for the record.
My name is Giselle Valmont, and I never said 2 months. I said I'm not sure, and I asked you, I was not irate. The reason why I asked you questions was because my grandmother had a prior court date here for the paint of her house, and we came from Boston to get it done. Now, in reference to the car, I believe that once your car is covered, that there are other cars around the area that's covered, so I didn't see the need for us coming here for a car that's covered. So she said, it cannot be on the property. So I said, show me on the document that why it needs to be moved. I said, show me documentation, show me proof. That's when she stated that we're harassing her. I said, no, I'm one to ask questions. And I believe that if you're coming and stating a statement, you need to show me proof as to why something needs to be removed. So that's when she proceeded to show me. I said, but there are other tarps on cars around the neighborhood. And what is the time frame? Now, in reference to the car, I got the car from an auction. Now, I had contacted Tallahassee in order to get the title change, because who the dealer I bought it from, he started being shady, and it was a back and forth rift. So he actually bought the car on another dealer's license, and I just got the title in April. So I got some quotes in reference to getting the car fixed, and the person who's going to do it told me that he'll be out of the country to conduct some business, and he should be back in July. So that was the end of that. I also inquired in terms of, not to her, but to someone else, because they were doing wrongs for the city council and stuff. We've had broken sidewalks for over 2 years after the hurricane. That is a hazard. I believe that as you guys are doing wrongs, you guys need to look at the city sidewalks and fix these things. It's a hazard. My grandmother is older. She can easily fall on there. Nobody's taking care of the city sidewalks and maintenance, but yet still, where she was getting harassed for her property. And I find that if you're going to do on private property, the city should be able to take care of their public situations as well. So it's been 2 years I've been inquired about a broken sidewalk after the hurricane. It has yet to be fixed. So who do I talk about that besides this case?
You're asking me a question?
I surely am.
Okay.
I'm talking to you.
Where are we now with the situation with the car?
The car remains on the property, and until tonight, I had no idea that was the status of the car. I left notices, I left business cards, but she wasn't so forthcoming to speak to me. The last time I did try to talk to her, it wasn't an easy conversation.
She was not approachable. The reason I think she got upset is because I questioned her. I asked her, show me where it states that the vehicle can be on the property. I don't know if anybody ever questioned her before for asking about like certain stuff, but me personally, I questioned. You got to show me in black and white why, ABC. So she showed me the ordinance where if a vehicle has some extensive damage, it has to be either removed. So I said, is the problem the tap or the fact that the vehicle is damaged? And you saw it. And another thing that I did not like that she did, she came on the property and then she lifted the tap to make sure that the vehicle was
That
still
is
right.
not true. I
That was,
never
it was
stepped
raining.
foot
Listen,
on
you
your
came on the property. We were there. I saw you at the window. You parked by
Not
the
me.
cherry tree and you came on
I
to
did not.
verify. That's when the next
did
day,
not.
because I told my grandmother she's coming here very soon because it's fully covered. You wouldn't even know it's damaged if you pass by. It's totally covered with a tap. So, and she came the next day and she handed me the paper and I took it to my grandmother and I told her that I'll come in with her.
I did not go on private property and touch the vehicle. Our city vehicles have cameras. If we can get the tape, it can show you that I did not go onto the property to take pictures. Any pictures that I take of the property is from the sidewalk, the swale, or the street.
All right, you want to show them the photographs and pass them forward, please?
Yeah, I know the photograph.
What am I looking at?
A brown top.
It's the car. It has a brown tarp on it.
It's a car cover. It's not a top. It's a car cover. It's covered with a car cover, fully covered.
Can you read the ordinance, right, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Section 10-9, prohibited storage. No person shall keep, store, or allow to remain on any residential property within the city any abandoned, derelict, or junk property, except as allowed in subsection B or C of this section. Abandoned, derelict, or junk property which would be visible at ground level from a street, public, or private property or waterway, but for the concealment of such junk property by the use of plastics, fabrics, or other materials to form a tent, curtain, partition, or similar makeshift structure or device, shall be subject to the same restriction that is applicable to junk property which is so visible, provided, however, that nothing in this section shall prohibit the use upon motor vehicles of commonly used car covers which are maintained in good repair.
Car covers. How is this different from what I'm looking at here?
My reading of, I haven't looked at the picture in depth. This doesn't appear to be a car cover. It appears to be a tarp. Most car covers are form-fitted to the vehicle so that it appears to be a vehicle, and it usually has a manufacturer brand name on it.
All right, fair enough. Let me see. Okay. Okay. You said you were waiting for the title, which you have received?
I just received it.
Okay. And you need, how long do you need to get this car removed, repaired?
Well, the mechanics will be back in July, the end of July. So he said once he returns, then he'll take it to the shop because he just sent me a quote of the repair. So I had to actually tow the car to the shop to get so he could do the estimates. And then we took it back because the front is the bumper, the front grill fell off from the accident, and that's all, and it doesn't have a light. It's just the front damage.
All right. Okay. I'll do an adjudication. I'll give her till July. You said your
Well, he'll be
mechanical-
back. Quoted, he said by July 26th, so anytime after that.
All right, I'll do an adjudication. Based on the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I find in favor of the city entering adjudication. Property owner has until July 31st by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $150. All right, ma'am. Good luck to you.
The next item is item 21, ITSAC at 777 Northeast 125 Street. Ernst Baptiste is the officer. The case number is SDNOV 2019-00069, item 21.
Good evening, sir. Please state your full name and relationship to the property.
Yitzhak Tzfadia, I own the building,
All right.
and I have no idea why I'm here.
Okay. Well, let's hear from the city code enforcement officer.
Ernst Baptiste, City of Miami Code Enforcement Officer. This is a case that was opened back in February 28, 2019 for a dumpster that is in the rear of the property that is not enclosed. I posted the property on May 18, and I know I hand delivered the posting. I went to the store. You are always in the back taking care of business, doing the alteration in that store. The person in the front are the one that receiving the notice. And I went inside and asked for you. The young lady get the notice from me and then went in the back with it. That's for the dumpster that is in the back that need to be enclosed like those people just before you, that is next to you. The dumpster need to be enclosed. Your dumpster need to be enclosed.
You told me my lid was open, and I need to do the width. So don't tell me you never said anything about the dumpster to be
Allow him to finish his presentation, and then I'll give you an opportunity to respond. Go ahead,
We
sir.
opened the violation and then sent out the violation to the same address that we have on my immediate property appraiser page. We post the property, and I went inside and hand delivered your posting.
Not to me.
As a matter of fact,
You gave it to me?
those not to you.
Okay.
I'm just telling you. As a matter of fact, you know about it because the people that just left said you are in collaboration with them to make sure that they do a big enclosure that can enclose yours and theirs.
Correct.
So you know about it.
From him, not from you.
Anyway,
You never
I
said
posted.
anything to me. Excuse me. You never said anything
will
to
give
me.
you-
The only
Sir,
reason I know
sir.
about it is my neighbor.
I never said anything to you because you never there when I'm posting, when I'm hand delivering the posting.
Okay.
I don't have your phone number. When I go to your store, you never up front. You never up front. I see customers, I see people working for you. You never up front.
Is that a crime?
No, it's not.
Okay.
That's why I never spoke to you when I go to your store.
Okay.
So, property was posted on May 18, 2019. This, I have picture of the dumpster enclosure. We show two dumpsters. One belong to 775, one belong to 777.
It goes together with my neighbor. We are doing it together, and we're going to fix it. You told him that you're going to give him 90 days. We're doing it anyway, so it doesn't matter. By the way, I never got anything from you. I never talked to you. So don't tell me stories now. Please.
I didn't say that I talked to you.
Okay.
I didn't say that
we
I
are
talked
doing
to you.
it. My neighbor was here with the plans and everything. We're doing it together. The two dumpsters sitting next to each other, and we're going to do it together anyway.
Let's see. All right, that was Ambrosino Corp., right?
Correct.
775 Northeast
Correct.
125th?
Yes.
Okay. Then the ruling was adjudication, 350 and 90 days. That's the one I give him till August 28th, right?
Correct.
Okay, so, all right, same adjudication, 90 days, 350. All right, sir, good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
The next item is item number 17, Frank Santiago. Edmi St. Louis is the officer. The case number CEGMP 2019-00050. Item number 17.
Good evening, sir. Please state your full name and relationship to the property.
My name is Edwin Hiram Quinones, and I'm the husband of the owner of the property.
All right, sir.
And I know what I'm here for.
Good evening.
At least we have one person who's know what they're here for tonight.
This one should be very simple.
Okay.
Good evening, Court Officer Edmay St. Louis. This violation was for general maintenance on the property. I've made numerous contacts with Mr. Quinones. I have trouble pronouncing his name. And he is going through a little situation with insurance. I have pictures. And he's also willing to fix the outside of the property. So I'll forward the pictures.
Okay. Mr. Quinones?
Mhm.
What's going on?
Yeah.
So what's going on?
We have a case filed with Dade County, our lawyers. They
Take a deep breath.
Take your time.
Our house is it needs almost $100,000 repairs. The insurance declined.
I'm sorry, sir.
I don't know if I'll be able to see the house fixed again. I live in a beautiful street in North Miami. I make it look easy for my friends because I have a business here, and most of my friends are in North Miami. But the fact of the matter is that I have COPD, chronic. I don't know if my partner and I will ever be able to see the house rebuilt. I don't know if I have a week, a month. But the fact of the matter, don't.
Take your time. What's going on?
I
sorry.
mean, with the property is pretty
The
much.
insurance refused to pay for the payment for the house. The house is full of mold. I have letters from my pulmonologist and my doctors. My partner had 4 bypass.
Oh.
I live second by second to get air to my lungs. Like I said, I make it look easy because I don't know, maybe because.
So you're both sick. That's what you're saying? You're
Right,
both ill.
and the house is outside is not a problem. I think the problem is inside.
So you're breathing. You're breathing the
mold. Vanity is the
mold.
worst punishment. But vanity is the worst punishment. That's why I make it look easy for my friends and my family. But the fact of the matter is that they offer us the house. It needs $100,000 to be fixed. They offer us $75,000. We want $2.5 million. We are not going to use this money because we are not going to be able to enjoy it at the rate that our health is deteriorating. But we want to teach them that greed is not good and it's abusive what they did to us. They are killing us softly, second by second. And I talked to my lawyers today. They are trying to move the case as soon as possible.
So you have a case pending currently against
Correct.
the insurance company?
It's been filed with Dade County already. We're waiting for the.
Is that against the insurance company?
Against the insurance company.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry to hear that, sir. I'm sorry that this is going on.
Well, the first claim was in, I believe it was in 2007, 2006, something like that.
This has
And
been going on since 2006?
My partner is not confrontational, and I had to take the command, because if not, it's never going to be, we're going to be on the streets. There's a lot of damage. There's a lot of damage to the house. And our house was, is one, is in a way historic, because it used to belong to Maurice Gibb from the Bee Gees.
Okay.
And we sold the house in Coral Gables. We had a beautiful house in Coral Gables. We sold it because we like the community, and we wanted to be in North Miami. We wanted to be where our business is, and it has turned out to be our worst nightmare.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm asking for some time. So I'm gonna. I came up with a plan of putting a bandage on it for a while until the case is heard on the court. It might work. It might work. I have my compadre. He's a contractor, and I talked to him on how to go about it, and we have an idea, more or less, how to go about it.
My heart goes out to you and your partner. I'm sorry you guys have to deal with this. What's going on? What is the city asking?
I mean, I spoke to Mr. Cunedes, and he agreed to at least give him 6 months to start off with, and then from there, we'll get updates. And I know he's willing to fix the what's the thing that's falling apart?
It's like a molding on the wall, on the front wall.
So he's willing to get that fixed.
Mm-hmm.
So, 6 months.
All right. What is it, like the facial board?
It's like a facial board.
Okay.
Something like that.
All right. So you want to table it? You want to?
Yeah, we'll table it for 6 months.
Okay. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. All right, you guys did not sign in. So next person, come forward.
I am Arthur Floor. I reside at 960 Northeast 133rd Street.
What number?
960.
Item number 13,
Nancy
case
Brodowski.
number CEJNK 2019-00020. Ernest Baptiste is the officer.
Okay, sir, what is your name?
Arthur Floor.
Okay, your relationship to the property?
I live on the property.
Okay. Are you a tenant?
No, I live there. My mother-in-law owns the property.
Okay.
The whole family lives there.
Okay.
Ernest Baptiste, City, North Miami Code Enforcement Officer. Case that was open for the property located at 960 Northeast 133rd for junk item laying around in the rear and side of the property. Property was posted on May 17, 2019 at 2:24 p.m. I took picture of the violation.
Okay. Yeah, I have updates of that. You can see that's gone. The ladder's gone. Cleaned up. There were some things here in this area that are all gone.
he showed me a picture where the washer or dryer is gone.
It's a kitchenette.
Kitchenette, okay.
Okay, it's been removed?
Yes, ma'am.
And you went for re-inspection on what day? By the abate? Oh, this is the first time up?
Yes,
Okay. All right, so it's removed?
yes, according to the picture, I will.
Do you
table
want
it.
to?
Yes, I will
Okay.
go back and re-inspect.
Okay, but we still have costs for today, correct? No?
No.
All right, table. Okay, sir. Good luck to you. The officer will go back to re-inspect.
Okay.
And if it's closed, then, if it's removed, then he'll close the case.
All right, thank you.
Okay, good luck to you. Ma'am? What is your name? And address?
My name is Paula Henry, and my address is 1021 Northeast 141st Street. And my officer is Mrs. Jean Lewis.
She knows her officer. Officer, come forward.
This item
What-
was not
what's
on the
name?
agenda. I
Huh?
asked her to, this item is not on the agenda. I'm not sure if it had complied before I printed the final agenda, so.
Good evening, Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. Pilar, this was the property that Crystal
Okay.
emailed us to table. That's why it's not on the agenda.
So let her know that it's been tabled because I don't have it here to give her that information.
I don't know your boss. I don't know. You send me that, and the same day I email you the. So nobody ever tell me, and I have an appointment here for today at 6 o'clock. I come.
We appreciate you. I'm sorry you had to sit here the whole night just to hear that your case is not going to be heard today. So guys, can you make a note that if she's in compliance or if it's done for somebody to contact her?
Yeah, it's not that she's in compliance. The manager agreed to table it so it wouldn't come to the hearing. I have to
Okay.
check the email to see
I know,
what
but no
date
one informed
yet.
her, and
No, the thing is, I have a problem since 2017, post hurricane 2017 with my roof. So the insurance company take times to send the money for. They
The
said
repairs.
it wasn't enough, so I had to hire an adjuster
Mhm.
for the to inspect to deal with them.
Mhm.
So actually, they send the money, and I heard the Safeguard Company, and I emailed that paper, the contract, to Miss Jean Lewis already.
Mhm.
So I never got a feedback from her. That's why I
you showed up today because you got the
Yes,
notice.
because
I
I
understand.
need time for the roof to be, because the insurance company pay some money to cover it with the plastic to top it.
Right.
So now the company told me it might take them to pull the permit to the city here, plus to work it. It will take two months.
Okay.
So I need some time.
Okay.
for-
It's not in front of me today. I don't have the case. It's not being heard because it was tabled by one of her supervisors. So I would say, reach out to them, contact them, and contact the code enforcement officer and see, how long it's being tabled for, and if they can give you more time.
Yes, but whom should I talk to?
She's the code enforcement officer. She's the one working on your case.
Okay.
Okay? Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Sure. Sir, come forward.
Yes, yes.
How are you?
Jason Smith, 1585 Northeast 138th Street.
Okay.
That's item number 22. Edme St. Louis is the officer. The case number is CEEXP 2019-00072, item 22.
I'm not quite sure what the infraction is, but my tenant, been the landlord since 2005, said, I got this, Jason, you might want to look into it. I saw that 2 days ago, so wanted to make sure I showed up.
Okay.
Good evening, Code Officer Edme St. Louis. This violation is for painting of the exterior of the property. There was actually two violations. The first one is already in compliance because they removed the plywoods that were on the windows.
Oh, okay.
Now the second one is for painting of the property.
Okay.
It's white, but it's discolored.
Gotcha.
Now I have pictures. Some of my pictures, the cameras that we have now, makes it look pretty, but it's not. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the.
I was there earlier today. I saw it. It was dirty. Yeah. I plan on having it painted in the next. Can you give me 90 days by any chance?
This was already adjudicated.
What does that mean?
It was already found guilty.
Okay.
So
It was heard in May.
Yeah.
What's that?
It was heard in
Oh,
May.
it was heard in May. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't familiar with this case.
Mhm.
So-
Yeah, because when I knocked on the door, because every time I go there, there's always two cars. Nobody answers the door.
It's the tenant.
And I understand that.
And the
had they-
mailing address, like similar to one of your previous situations, it has my old mailing address. So apparently in the tax roll, whatever forms have been coming to place 3248 Mary Street, which I haven't resided at since 2012. So that's why this is the first time I heard of it. My tenant didn't tell me about this issue, which is why I found out about it 2
Per
days
property appraisers, generated on 5/30/2019,
Mhm.
it's still current that the
Yeah.
Mary Street is the same address.
Exactly, which is why I have to call the appraiser. I think you said the tax appraiser's office.
Yeah,
on-
property appraisers.
And change that.
All right. What is the city seeking?
I mean, being that I'm now being in contact with the property owner, I mean, we could go ahead and give him 1 month. So he could go ahead and get the property painted. I'm gonna go also give you my card.
Okay. Thank you.
And just make sure you contact the appraiser's office to get it fixed, because
Got it.
everything we mail out, we go off property
Got it.
appraisers.
Okay, okay. Are there any fines incurred so far?
As of right now, no.
Okay.
Because you're here today.
Great, awesome.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
I'm giving you 30 days.
30 days, gotcha.
All right. Good luck to you.
So basically, you'll come by and you'll see in 30 days if it's been repainted or not?
Within 30 days upon the notice to appear being generated,
Uh-huh.
if it's painted, I'll close it. If it's not painted, then it'll come to the following magistrate.
What was the date on that notice? Just so I know.
For which one? For the
For whatever
upcoming
one. The 30 days from what, today? Or 30 days from?
It
you
would be
said
July 17th is our next hearing.
July 17th, okay.
Mhm.
Great. Thank you.
You're
So
welcome.
they're so exterior painting by July 17th.
Yes, and if there's any discrepancies, just feel free to email me.
Got it, okay. Thank you, officer.
All right. Good
Great.
luck to you.
Thank you.
All right. We're releasing our interpreters. Thank you, guys. Good night. All right. Can I take a 5-minute recess? Recess. Okay. 5-minute reset. 5-minute recess. Where's Junia? She's here. Okay.
Avenue. John Dorville is the officer. The case number is MHVIO 2019-00170, item number 3.
Okay.
Good evening. John Dorville, City North Miami Code Compliance Office. This case is in reference to property that is addressed at 13055 Northeast 6th Avenue. It is a condo. This property was cited for dumpster enclosure doors not being repaired. I have pictures. This property was posted on 5/14/19 at 2:55 p.m. Pictures are in the file, and I'll hand it up. Just for the record, this property was cited for 2 items. The other item was abated. They had some construction material outside of the property that was removed. However, the dumpster doors were not repaired. But this is affiliated with a management company that seems to have this issue throughout their properties, and I've actually cited this management company several times in reference to dumpster doors being in disrepair at several of their properties.
Okay. Tell me about notice for today's hearing.
Notice was 5/14/19 at 2:55, so May the 14th, 2019 at 2:55 p.m.
Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Property owner has until July 10th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $350.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is item 33. Micalaire Emil. Edme St. Louis is the officer. Case number CEIVY 2019-00061, item 33.
Good evening, Code Officer Edme St. Louis. This violation is for a car without a valid tag placed on the property. Violation was opened back in March 11th, 2019. As of today, the violation still remains. It was posted for magistrate on the 17th of May, and I have yet to get in contact with anyone. I have pictures.
All right. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice, the owner has failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Property owner has until July 10th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $100.
The next item on the agenda is item 24. Jonathan Heller. Shanna Sanders is the officer. The case number CEWRA 2019-00009, item 24.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. This is a new case for property address 13005 Biscayne Bay Terrace for missing address numbers in the rear of the property. I first initially cited the property on March 18th, sent a second notice on April 30th. Did not hear anything from the property owner until I went to deliver the notice to appear, whereas he came out the door. We had a conversation. He stated that he would install the address numbers, went back for reinspection on the 29th. As of the 29th, when we went out on the waterways, address numbers still were not present. I am sure proper service was given. I did hand deliver actually the notice to appear to the property owner. But as of today, as of last Wednesday, the 29th, the address number still remained missing on the rear.
All right. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I also find good notice, given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city and enter an adjudication. Property owner has until July 10th to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, that will be a daily fine amount of $100.
The next item is item number 12101 Northeast 6th Avenue LLC. Ernst Baptiste is the officer. The case number CEFAW 2019-00073. Item number 1.
Ernst Baptiste, City North Miami Code Enforcement Officer. This is a case that was open for a cement wall fence that is damaged at the location, property located at 12101 Northeast 6th Avenue. Posted the property on May 18, 2019 at 10:50. Took picture of the wall that is damaged. No one contacted me.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice to owners have failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Owner has until July 10th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $250.
The next item is item number 4, 14190 West Dixie Highway LLC. Vanessa Willis is the officer. The case number CENUS 2019-00364. Item number 4.
Good evening. Vanessa Willis, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. Okay. This is a new case, and they were cited back on April 10, 2019 for apartment number 2 to please have a unit for mold and remediate the mold inside the unit. And I asked them to also provide a mold report and call for a reinspection. This property was posted on May 16, 2019 at 3:42 p.m. And the photos of the posting are in the file along with the affidavit. I do have an email where I've been emailing the property manager back and forth trying to get access inside the unit. The actual resident that lives inside there is in a wheelchair, so he's unable to access the doorway unless his nurse is there, but no one has been able to come to the door. So all they needed to do, and according to him, I did talk to the tenant over the phone, and he told me that someone had come in, I guess, to collect the samples of the mold in the unit, and that they sprayed some type of solution. So they've never furnished a report. So to date, they are not in compliance, and I haven't heard anything further from the property manager. The last time we corresponded, and I do have a copy of the email, the last time we talked, or I should say emailed one another, she stated that she would meet me at the property. She did not meet me at the property on that day, nor did she have a designee for that property at the time.
Okay. Did you have photos?
I don't. The only thing is that when you go inside the unit, you don't see the mold, but you can smell it. Exactly. This is dampness and moisture is what you're smelling, but you don't visibly see anything green or black or anything like that.
Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I also find good notice, given proper notice, the owner has failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city. Property owner has until July 10th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $300.
The next item is item number 5, 640 Northeast 128th Street LLC. Ernst Baptiste is the officer. The case number is CEJNK 2019-00031. Item number 5.
Ernst Baptiste, City North Miami Code Enforcement. This is a case that was open for junk on property, especially rear of property. Case was opened back in March 22nd, 2019. Posted the property on March 21st. On April 21st, No, March 21st, 2019. Took picture. Drunk, still in the rear.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I also find good notice, given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Property owners have until July 10th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $300.
The next item is item number 6, 7X Glory LLC. Vanessa Willis is the officer. The case number CEOSV 2019-00033, item number 6.
Vanessa Willis, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. This property was cited back in March 15, 2019. Please cease and desist parking large commercial truck in front of the property. Commercial vehicles are prohibited in areas zoned as single family. Remove vehicle and call for a reinspection. This property is occupied by a tenant. It's a single family home that's occupied by a tenant. And so what actually happened, I received a complaint from one of the residents who stated that there was a commercial vehicle there over the weekend. So when I came in the next day, I went out to the property. The truck was still there. I spoke with the person who operated the vehicle, and I said, listen, you can't bring the truck home. You know, he gave me a long dissertation, but at the end of the day, that wasn't the first occurrence. It actually happened again. Let me tell you about service before I move on. I did post a violation, or post a notice to appear, on May 16, 2019 at 4:58 p.m. I took photos of the posting as well. And I've been back and forth speaking with the tenants. And the good news is they're going to be moving. They have not brought the truck back after the second time that it occurred. So it happened once, and then it happened again. And so I told them I'm not closing the case this time. I'm going to leave it open because it's a cat and mouse back and forth. I spoke to the property owner, and they were unable to be here tonight, but they did send this letter. I'm going to forward all this up to you. June 4, 2019, 7X Glory LLC, care of Elvin Puente. To whom it may concern, I, Elvin Puente, owner of the property located at 1075 Northwest 129th Street, authorized my representatives to appear during the hearing on June 5th, 2019. The tenant was going to appear, but she has graduation for her children, so she said she wasn't going to. Anyway, I have let known that my tenants, Mr. Calais Petit and Mrs. Letitia Petit, are aware of the violation. I spoke to Ms. Letitia Petit last week and let her know about the violation I have received in the mail from City of North Miami, and explained to her that the commercial vehicle has to be removed because they are prohibited in residential areas. Tenants are aware, as well as that our lease rental agreement will terminate on July 31st, 2019. On June 3rd, 2019, I also spoke on the phone to Code Officer Ms. Vanessa Willis and explained that it was impossible for me to appear in court, but also told her that I have let my tenants that we will terminate our lease rental agreement on July 31st, 2019. So basically, they're leaving the property on July 31st. The tenant stated that she probably will be leaving before then. So I don't think we're going to have any further occurrences, but I did want an adjudication. So the next time that it does, if it does occur again, that they would be adjudicated as a repeat violator. So what I'm forwarding up to you is that which I just read. And I have photos, one where you'll see a red vehicle kind of on the street where the lift truck, it's almost like they work for a commercial company where they use the lift to access large wires and trees and all that to cut the trees back from the electrical wires. So you'll see that photo. I tried to blow it up. Not a very good job, but it's here. I have the email from my boss who first notified me of that occurrence. And you'll see the rebuttal back and forth with her. And then you'll also see an email from one of the residents, and it has it has another photo where there's no red vehicle in front, so you know that it was a different day, where the truck is there again. And it's on the left side of the paper. And then you have my photos of the posting. So I will forward all this up for your review. But they are in compliance. I just need an adjudication. Let me go back to my mic. They are currently in compliance, but I just wanted an adjudication in case there's another occurrence.
All right, based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation did exist. I also find good notice, given proper notice to owners that failed to appear, hereby find in favor of the city and enter an adjudication.
Thank you.
The next item is item number 8, Alex Lanza. Vanessa Willis is the officer. The case number is CEBPR 2019-00011. Item number 8.
Vanessa Willis, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. Excuse me. This violation was written on March 11th, 2019. Please obtain a building permit for the fence being installed on your property. You may contact the Building and Zoning Department, and I listed the phone number for the list of requirements. Posted the notice to appear on May 18th at 12:23 p.m. I have not spoken with the property owner at all since the duration of back and forth with this violation. The day that I posted it, there were some children there. They were going to get the grandmother. The grandmother never came up front. There was an older gentleman on the property. I let him know what was going on. He didn't state what his relationship was to the property, but according to the neighbor, they're well aware that they need to get a permit for the fence. One of our officers here had previously also cited him with a ticket when he was initially installing the fence. So it's just imperative that he obtains the permit. He's not finished with the fence. Unfortunately, my photo of the fence did not come out well. So all I have is the actual posting of the notice to appear on the property on May 18th. But I did take the permit action report for that particular property. He has several permits here, but he does not have a permit for the fence that he has started to install. But I do have a testimony, if you need, from the other officer that there actually is a fence there, an iron fence. But they are not in compliance. There's no permit there.
Okay. Based on you're shaking your, is it, officer, okay.
Karen Jean Lewis.
All right. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I also find good notice, given proper notice to owners that failed to appear, hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. The property owners has until July 10th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $350.
Okay, thank you.
The next item is item number 12, BSD 18 LLC. Ernst Baptiste is the officer. The case number is CEEXC 2019-00005. Item number 12.
I want to table this case for 1 month.
Okay. Table 30 days.
The next item is item number 20, Iceline Serafline. Ernst Baptiste is the officer. Case number CEEXP 2019-00066. Item number 20.
Ernst Baptiste, City of Miami Code Enforcement Officer. Case that was opened back in March 14, 2019 for the violation of the paint in the exterior of the property. Property was posted on March 14, 2019 at 3:25 p.m. I took picture of the property. Paint is peeling, need to be repainted.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I also find good notice, given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Property owner has until June 10th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $450.
The next item is item 27. Lawrence Casagal. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer. The case number CEWWC 2019-00019, item 27.
Good evening, Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. The property 960 Northeast 143 Street was cited for a blue tarp on the roof. Code Manager Cordo requested that I tabled it after the property was originally cited. After the 30 days wait, still no contact from the owner and the tarp remains. Notice to appear was posted on the property on Thursday, May 16 at 11:39 a.m. As of the final reinspection date, May 29, the tarp remains on the roof. And I happened to drive by today and took another picture. The tarp still remains and no contact from the property owner.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice, the owners failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Property owner has until July 10th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $450.
The next item is item 29, MCPAT Enterprises. Ernest Baptiste is the officer. The case number is CEODS 2019-00046, item 29.
Ernest Baptiste, City of Miami Code Enforcement Officer. This is a case that was opened back in March 8, 2019. Video was posted on May 17, 2019. I have pictures showing pieces of plywoods leaning against the wall and on the exterior.
Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice, the owner has failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Property owner has until June 10th, July 10th, by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $250.
The next item on the agenda is item 35, Petit Matre. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer. The case number is CEWWC 2019-00034, item 35.
Pilar, what's the property address?
1241 Northeast 141 Street.
Oh, that one is compliant.
The next item is 36, Rashid Tahir. Ernest Baptiste is the officer. The case number CEEXP 2019-00064, item 36.
Ernest Baptiste, City of Miami Code Enforcement Officer. Property was posted on March 13, 2019. That was for the violation to paint the exterior. That is looking bad with mold and peeling and fading. Property was posted on March 13, 2019 at 10:57 a.m. I have picture.
The The notice on 313, was that for today? Because I see that this case was tabled once.
No, that's the same. The house looks the same way.
I understand the posting. You said that it was posted on 313.
Oh no. On May 13th.
Oh, thought I heard March 13th. I'm sorry. Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice, the owner has failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city. Enter an adjudication. Owner has until July 10th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, that would be a daily fine amount of $350.
The next case on the agenda is item 41, Tropical Terrace Condominium. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer, and the case number is CEBAL 2019-00001.
Good evening, Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. The property 13725 Northeast 6th Avenue was cited for items being stored on the balconies. Items such as grills, chairs, ladders, and other miscellaneous items. I did make contact with the property manager, who advised that she would have the items removed. Upon the last time I was there at the property, which was May 21st, the items still remain. And since then, there's been no contact from the property owner. The property manager. The notice to appear was posted May 21st, 2019 at 8:57 a.m. I ride by the building often, and the items still on the balconies.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I also find good notice, given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear. Hereby find in favor of the city. Enter an adjudication. Owners have until July 10th by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, that will be a daily fine amount of $450.
And that concludes our agenda for today.
Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you, officer.